morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. Thank you guys so much for being here. This is Market Check brought to you by Because Bitcoin. My name is Max. I'm the CEO of Because Bitcoin. Normally, this introduction is done by our very own VP of Operations, Tommy. He's going to be jumping on the show just a little bit later. I think he was taking his car to the mechanic or something like that. So hopefully all is well with the mechanic. But anyways, we are here joined by Will's Outlook, Jackus, and Tucker, and we are going to just continue on with the normal programming, talking about charts. And there is certainly a lot to talk about today. The title of today's show is Risk Bottomed and DXY Topped, ... Market Check. Well, I know we, as a team, we discussed it this morning in our Discord. And I know that there's definitely some opinions on this panel that think that DXY has largely topped or is very, very close to a top. And of course, given the negative correlation between DXY and risk, you can only assume that if we get a sustained potential multi-week pullback soon here for DXY, it would only make sense, of course, that risk could potentially put in a bounce. So anyways, I'm going to kick it over to Tucker. He's got his charts up here. Tucker, what are you seeing, man?
Yeah. Thanks, Max. I mean, this is such a strong trend on the DXY. It's like, it's tough to want to fade it super aggressively right here. I mean, that being said, it's probably getting exhausted, right? And you did have, I will say this will add to the short-term exhaustion camp. You did put in basically let me clean it up. Basically a perfect 50% retrace, right, from the high to the low. So I don't know. It would make sense for it to be a spot to chill out, maybe hang out in here for a little bit. But in general, it's tough to want to step in front of. Maybe if we look back a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you got equities. Wow, they really just turned it around there. You got equities that have been nuking pretty much since like July, right? Have been in a downtrend with no real signs of reversal. I know we've talked about kind of like let's just put it side by side, like. We've talked about QQQ versus SPY. QQQ does look stronger. Tech does look stronger, but I don't know. Is the S&P leading? Like, are they just selling everything for tech, right?
So this is one thing I was talking about this morning, Tucker, is that if you could just go back and you look at last year, the NASDAQ was the leader to the downside. People were hiding out in SPX and the Dow, and this isn't exactly what I would expect to see for an imminent sell-off, like market-wide, and for the recession to be here. I would have expected tech to puke more than it has.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they're still hiding in tech, right? If they're just selling the S&P and bidding tech, like I don't have it pulled up, but I'm sure the NDX S&P ratio is going higher, obviously. But yeah, I think that maybe this could be just bloat coming out of the S&P, and basically this is saying that the pump we've had all year is more justified, and the valuations are more justified in tech than they are in the S&P, and they're mean reverting at minimum in the S&P in terms of valuation. But people still believe in tech at this point, so you could interpret it as bullish, and this is just bloat coming out of the S&P. I want to see the Dow, though. Let's put the Dow down here.
The Dow was at like very, very, very oversold levels.
God.
I tagged Will in a post in our Discord about it. The daily RSI in the Dow, I think, was damn near, I want to say it's low ever, but I might be wrong. I don't trade with RSI that much. It was just an observation.
No, it's very, very oversold. I think that's a very obvious scenario. Again, trading with RSI, it's kind of it's NGL, right? Not a good look, but it's definitely a good place to be looking for price to bounce, or at least looking for levels, or are you near levels for price to bounce? I'll put it that way.
Yeah, they're definitely selling the Dow and the S&P the hardest for sure. You can tell tech is not taking that next level.
I'm trying to find the gunshot wound on SPY. I haven't found it yet, though. I know some things are pulled back, but I have not found the wound yet.
The gunshot wound? What do you mean?
What is causing SPY to bleed so much?
It's got to
DXY,
be
man.
Utilities, and the
you're talking about within the SPY. What names are
within
bleeding
the SPY? Exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm.
Got to be industrial utility names, right? I mean, it looks like it's doing this, bro. It looks like it. I mean, look at the, just that like sideways nasty bear chop that the Dow's doing.
I'm gonna kind of poke through SPY's whole makeup right here in a little bit and see if I can figure out where that bleed is coming from.
Yeah.
I mean, look, the big question is, and we're going to find out because eventually it will happen. We need a red week for DXY.
Yeah.
And we need to be able to gauge what type of equity or risk strength comes out of it. But we need DXY to pull back. We just need one red week. And if equities continue to sell or not really bounce and DXY, is moving down, then this might be real, But I think this is just a direct result of DXY strength. Continued strength.
This is also something to keep an eye on. The regional bank ETF is getting sold hard again.
Well, yeah, take a look at yields, right?
Yeah.
It's like it's not good, man. I mean, there's a couple industries that are directly and immediately affected by interest rates. A couple that come to mind: one, banks, specifically smaller banks, but all banks, and two, real estate. Those are the two where interest rate hikes are not lagging; they are immediate.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, if you took a look at like any regional real estate ETF as well, I'm sure it's getting just obliterated as the market is potentially anticipating even higher for even longer, which, by the way, I think is kind of BS. Like, I think the Fed is bluffing. I don't think they're going to continue to hike. I think that they're done. And I also think they're probably going to cut Q2 of next year.
There you go.
Look at that.
There's a couple industries that are immediately affected by interest rate hikes. Where a lot of them are lagging, right? Like a lot of tech companies, they've got these revolving line of credits and, short-term debt where they've got a rate locked in for, a year plus. Real estate comes to a screeching halt. It's terrible for banks, man. And it's reflected in their weakness across the board.
Yeah.
But you're seeing it with tech, right? Like, look how tech's just sitting there, man.
I know.
They got a lot of cash on hand. It's not as interest rate sensitive.
Yeah, people are still trying to hide in tech, which
that's a pure capitulation on the TLT.
Yes, it is a absolute capitulation. I think it bottoms this month. My plan was to throw my final batch at it right before the next FOMC. Wow, look at that thing. Yeah.
You know what bears are going to say to that, right?
My mic muted. I said, you want to talk about jaws being wide open, man. This is the jaws.
Yeah.
Oh, bears are going to say that's an information high. That's what they're going to say.
I mean,
for QQQ?
Yep. Guarantee every bear out there is looking at this like an M.
I mean,
I'm not saying us. I'm just saying, like, I guarantee every bear out there is looking at it like that.
So what is it, Will? If it's not an M formation high, what is it?
It's consolidation range.
Oh.
Until it's not.
It's not.
All right. And guys, real quick before we get too far into the stream, we got 11 likes on this video. We got almost 30 people watching. Thank you guys so much for being here. if you could quickly just take one moment and hit that thumbs up button for us, it really does wonders for the channel. You guys always come to bat for us. Our TP is usually always 30, so I'll prompt you guys again, I'm sure. But yeah, if you're enjoying the stream, first of all, thank you for being here. Second, please just take one moment, hit that thumbs up button for us. Yeah, we'll see if we can TP1 at 20 likes, TP2 at 30. Oh, Tucker, my goodness.
Tucker, you were on board on the first one that you just deleted. All right.
The first one? No,
Yep.
the first one was just showing like generally, right?
That
like,
could very well happen because if you look at the center there, that's not an equal high M. That's a lower high middle, which means that could be a W.
No, I'm just saying this is like what it does, right? Distribution,
Yeah, for sure.
Just that, which looks
Precisely.
like this,
Yep.
And then that's how you get your downtrend.
If it starts downtrending, that's exactly what it look like. But if it rips up, what would that look like?
If it rips up, what would it look like?
Yep.
I mean, I don't know, a ripper.
it would be the same thing, just to the upside.
Yeah, see, that's the thing, man, is it's actually holding. And Tucker,
If
when you're
that
done
right
with this,
side
I
were
want you
equal-
to, when you're done with this, I want you to pull up the chart I was talking about this morning in Discord, SPX divided by NASDAQ. And I want to just do some dubious TA on it because I think it makes a really strong case for this just being basically a consolidation before higher, at least for now.
I mean, even if this chart drops like, to 320, it's still fucking bullish, So what are we even talking about here?
Well, 320 would be pretty painful, man. That's another 8% or something.
Yeah, but exactly. As Tucker is, currently drawing, that's exactly what it is. We had it up move since the beginning of 2023, and even if we drop lower here, again, I don't care. Even if it drops to 340, 330, 320, it's still just a consolidation before higher.
Yeah, that's what
I don't know if I don't know if you go that high though. Go on, Will.
Yeah, no, I don't think 500, Tucker. I don't
bull
I need to dial that back a little bit.
But to Jackass's point, this is what I've been pointing out all year. It doesn't. The structure is there. Structure has shifted the market to the upside. The structure is not a downtrend. Like we can say short term downtrend. We can say a pullback. We can call it that. But it is not a structural downtrend at all.
I mean, yeah,
if you structural downtrend.
I mean, it's gonna have to decide here soon, right? It's either
how about a cup and handle there, Tucker?
It's either that or it's the launch.
Yeah.
Or
no, I mean it can even pull back to that mid range right there where he's talking 320 and it could still bounce there.
But yeah, no, if it puts in a lower high right here, then you look for that, right?
Exactly.
Right.
Tucker, can you pull up SPX
that's healthy
divided by NASDAQ? I want to talk about that quick because I think
yeah. So
you maybe have it.
No, I mean to Zodiac's point too, because I know Zodiac's talking about he stated that that's scoping, but it's really not, right? Your structure is structured to the upside. That's the whole point at the end of the day. If anybody's coping at this point, it would be on the bear side. The Bears are just hoping and hoping and hoping because they've been sidelined almost the whole year.
So Tucker, if you zoom in on this, like maybe go to the daily time frame even.
But just one sec, Zodiac. If that's coping, man, explain to me why. Like, give me logical reasons. I am willing to listen. Okay, but I just don't see the bearish case there. Like, if the only bearish case is that interest rates are high and we are going into recession, I agree. I'm just saying not right now, and that's the thing where players get it wrong the whole year.
Yep.
Just give me
I don't
a reason.
think we can go into we can't go into a major recession with unemployment this low. It doesn't make any sense.
Well, not just that, Max. Again, we go back to what's the biggest thing? It's claims. The claims are still extremely low.
Just dropped recently, even more.
with
what
claims
front
dropping,
runs the
there's no
claims?
possibility.
And even before the claims, it's non-farm payroll. That's the first one.
Yep.
But I do anticipate that these things will spike. Unemployment will spike at some point. I'm just saying, not right now. You need alignment with the fundamental analysis needs to be aligned by technical analysis. It's just not right now, in my opinion.
Yeah. Let me go into why not right now matters. Because if SPY drives to, I don't know, 500, right? 5K, so on and so forth. Let's say SPY, we'll say 500, because I know people are gonna be like, it's 5K, it's only a 4-bit SPX 5K. But if SPY drives to that range, let's say bears are right. What if your pullback's only 4,500? Then you've actually been wrong the whole time. And now you have to buy the higher low.
I don't think you even think that, though, Will. I don't think you think we're going to 5K and then 4,500. I think you think we're going 5K to 3K.
Yeah, I mean, I think we get destroyed at the highest. But
yeah, you don't even believe that, man. That's not true.
But I'm saying structurally at that point, bears never had a case at all. That was the case.
That's okay. So we've talked about this before, and I heard Matt say it yesterday on the space. What if everybody that's so bearish on Bitcoin is right and we're going to get a 40% pullback? But what if it happens when Bitcoin's at 50K? What if it goes to 50K and then it nukes 40%?
Yep.
Bro. Wasn't I saying that the whole fucking time?
Yeah, you were.
No, but it's the same thesis I've been coming to all year. This is why I keep on pushing back, because it's bears are looking for that bear. The bear sentiment may come, but it may not bring you back to the levels you're thinking it will happen.
Did we invite Evan on, man?
I invited Evan on, and he disappeared for a week, and he told me I bought XRP. I don't know what happened. None of it happened. I didn't buy XRP.
He said I disappeared for a week and said he bought.
You saw that in the Discord. He was telling me I bought XRP at 80 cents. I've literally never owned or traded XRP.
No, then he changed it to you traded it. That's what he said.
Yeah, and I was like, I've also never traded.
No. We're gonna cut him some slack. We're gonna give him a break. It was late on a Saturday night. He was. Having a good time.
He's having some bush latte,
but he can come on the show. He can come on the show.
Bush margaritas.
I need him to give us some 3-minute.
Dude, nothing would make me happier than to get Evan on this show. Nothing.
Evan, yeah, you're welcome to come on, man.
He said, "My bad, bro." Evan, just come on the show.
No, bro. Evan, we love you, man. We're just giving you a hard time. We love you, man.
Yeah,
we love you. And maybe I will buy some XRP, Evan. Evan said I did have a few cold ones.
He's like, no, I remember I saw you last week at the bar and you bought it.
Look who decided to show up in the comments.
Oh, man.
Look who it is. Yeah. Couldn't come and face the bulls today, man. Had to make up an excuse.
He's being told that his car needs a new.
I mean, Zodiac, look, if that were the scenario, Zodiac, and I can definitely understand why. You say why? Why is Bitcoin where it's at right now? Why is it not continuing to bleed? Right? Why did SPY bounce off of where it bounced off of and ran up to 4,500? Why? There's no real reason for it to happen. It just happened.
I'm gonna tell you guys this right now. If DXY puts in a red week and Bitcoin moves back up to 28.5, I'm longing everything. But I need that DXY. Even like local breakdown, just so I can gauge the market's appetite for risk.
And keep in mind, I want to be clear about this too, Max, because I'm not going to sit on here and LARP I've been bullish on everything. Because I talked shit about Solana. I was like, Solana going to single digit. I was on board with Tommy, and I honestly, in my head, I still am on board with that. But at the same time, it's like, how can you be bearish on Solana and be bullish on Bitcoin? It's just because I don't think alts have ground to stand on against Bitcoin.
No, right? Alts are going to get eviscerated, man. I mean, I think there can be small little windows, like little bounces. Yeah, I know. Remy, yeah, you know what?
Max wrecked.
We're going to do a market check live from the steakhouse when Tommy pays the entire bill and 2 first-class tickets flying me both ways. Tommy's going to wine and dine.
Hey, we need to make a bet before you guys come here. so that we can have something to act
But
on.
that's in like 3 weeks.
I know. We need to make.
Nah, he's not going to agree to that. He needs time.
No, I'm thinking I make one with Will. I'm thinking I make one with
Will. Yeah, Will. Will didn't want to bet me, man. Look at this.
Max, you should one up him and tell him
that's
2
still
seats.
non-zero.
Will, what do you have to say about this, man? Answer this question.
I never said castles going to 0.
Will,
I just said the chart looks the same. That's it.
Will, man, you said 0. Will said in private that he thought it would go negative for the first time ever.
You're going to start paying them for them to keep the protocol open. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Man, Zodiac was saying that the stablecoin supply has been in a decline since last year. But when I look at the chart of the market cap of USDT, of Tether, the largest stablecoin, it actually went from 65 billion to 85 or 84 billion.
Yep.
So
what is it? The USDT?
USDT? I don't know what he's talking about. Sure, the USDC supply has
put it in a line chart, Tucker, because the wicks are just terrible.
I mean, the wick shows you down there like where it went. Like it's at 85 billion. He's right.
And dude, I put out a tweet about this because there was some guy that was fudding crypto. I don't even know who he is. And he was saying people are frantically trying to leave the space, blah, blah, blah. Look at USDC's market cap. Tucker, could you actually throw up USDC as well, man?
Yeah.
Throw up USDC.
But leave USDT. Leave USDT on the chart. Yeah.
Yeah. No. So now move it up. Yeah, put it in a line and then move it up to the same pane as USDT. So you'll have to merge them. Yeah. So right there, move up existing pane, then one scale, move it to the same scale. So just go to the left scale, right click, and then merge all scales into one right in the middle on the right. Yeah. Okay. So as soon as Silicon Valley Bank imploded, you can see that people lost confidence in USDC and much prefer Tether. It's really that simple. It's that simple. So why is USDC falling through the floor? It's not because people are trying to like rapidly escape crypto. It's because they're just dumping things into Tether. So
well, not just Tether too. I've seen other new stable coins come along that have been grabbing liquidity too from USDC,
like TUSD and stuff.
The TUSD,
yeah, but that's only like
can you put it? Can you also put in like the DAI stable coin?
Yeah, DAI too. A lot of people sleep on that one. Yeah,
I think it's the third largest, isn't it? DAI right now.
Mm-hmm.
DAI is the third largest, I think. Yeah.
What is the fourth largest?
Probably TUSD, if I had to guess.
TUSD.
Yeah, if I had to guess, I think it would be TUSD.
Threshold.
I mean, guys, look, at the end of the day, you can tell there's liquidity. Look, on Friday, 2 weeks ago, and I was going to screen grab this. I told you, Max, the problem with deck screeners is it doesn't like track that information so you can go back and look at it. But
you have to put it in log, Tucker, I think.
2 Fridays ago, Binance had an inflow of 29 billion. 29 billion Binance chain. Inflow, not outflow, an inflow. That's when Bitcoin pumped from 25 up to like 28, basically, it had an inflow of 29 billion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty apparent what's happening here. I mean, people are just throwing money into Tether. It all started in March. So
how could we forget?
Well, I mean, you can even pull up. Yeah, that's going to 0. But you can even pull up.
Yeah, that's bad,
pull
man.
Pull up total.
That's BUSD. Huh?
Pull up total.
In new pain.
Like look at total. How can you look at total there and tell me that total is not an accumulation?
Yeah. I mean, you could make the case that it's going to go back down and test the lows again, but yeah, it is accumulation. And I've been saying that for a while, that it's a huge range. Specifically, let's just talk about Bitcoin. The range is from 15K to 30K, give or take, debatably. That's a huge range, and that range can make a big difference when you extrapolate that range out, for a breakout 5 years from now. If Bitcoin's at 250K and you bought at 30K rather than 15, it does make a big difference. But we're going to look back on this 30K range as probably another mega accumulation phase that most people didn't jump on the opportunity to accumulate in. but it could go down a little more, right? Like it could go down 40% and still be in the range.
But here's the thing. It has struggled to get below 1 trillion total crypto market.
It has. That's been concrete. That's been concrete. Yeah. Yeah.
And that's a very apparent thing here. And now I'm just showing you Zodiac just so you can understand. Like, we're looking at all the metrics. We're not just going at Bitcoin and be like, all right, this is Bitcoin and Bitcoin's doing this. So this is what we're looking at everything across the board. We're measuring liquidity in every single way we can, on top of looking at Bitcoin price. There is accumulation going on when we're looking at these things. And so even though markets look weak, we're seeing the accumulation on inflows and everything else. Like, it's just that I couldn't make it any more obvious than the things we just showed you. I mean, we can go over other things if you want, but I mean, we can argue oil. Oil's inflationary. Yes. Is inflation good for assets? Oh yeah. 100% inflation is good for assets. Like, deflation is bad. So,
Will, I gotta cut you off real quick. I'm so sorry. We're having a major problem here. I actually don't think the stream can continue. We're only at 19 likes on this stream, guys. We're not even at 20 likes yet. We got 34 people watching, guys. I need you to take one quick moment and please hit that thumbs up button for us. It does wonders for the channel. It does wonders for the show. We got to hit that TP at 30 likes, guys. I'm sorry to keep bringing it up, but we got 36 people watching now. We should have at least 36 likes on this video. But thank you guys so much for being here. I hope you guys are enjoying the discussion. All right, we got 23 likes now. We're getting closer. So we took partial profit at 20 likes. But we got to hit 30 likes. If you have not liked the video yet, please consider hitting that thumbs up button for us real quick. And as a matter of fact, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, we go live every single weekday, Monday through Friday at 10:40 a.m. Eastern time for Market Check, the show you're watching right now. This is a daily show that we do. So if you're enjoying it so far, maybe you've liked the video and you want to take things further. You want to take that next step with us here at Because Bitcoin. If you're ready to commit to it, we're ready to commit as well. You could happily subscribe to this channel and your life would immediately get better.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for being here.
I wanted to point out, sorry to cut you out there, Max. I wanted to point out, because Zodiac again is going back to put all these stablecoins together. Look, you take out BUSD, it looks nothing like that. BUSD is going to zero. I have almost no doubt that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Like, you're putting in a coin that's essentially dragging the market down.
No, but BUSD is like confirmed. It cannot go up because they stop all the deposits, and it's like confirmed by CZ that you just convert, you know.
Yeah, you're putting an asset in the mix that's basically going to zero.
All right.
Now, if you look at that, that's more stable.
You need this to go up. You need it to. You really do. I mean, look what it took to get us from 500 billion to whatever.
Yeah, but just draw a line off the low there.
Huh?
Draw a line across the low. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much it, right? If it doesn't bounce here, it could go deeper. But the reality is too, if you look there, that little peak, that little COVID high or COVID low, whatever you want to call it, that right there is about as low as I think it can go.
Oh, Will, it's over.
Wasn't it first the market that was going
total.
up and the stablecoin market later? Wasn't it like the price of the assets going up first and then the market cap of stables going up after?
Let's see.
What was leading?
You mean in the bull market?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Let's go all the way back.
Man, look, I'm just gonna say it like it is when it comes to when it comes to stable coins and total. Total is the deciding factor of whether or not there's inflows. 100%.
It looks like it's about the same time there.
No, look, this led for
price
sure.
led.
No, total.
No,
led.
You could argue that price led. Look at that little pop right there.
Yeah, but this was before that, and you started going parabolic, like this area.
Parabola.
This area, you went sideways while this skyrocketed, and then you just.
Tucker, are you insinuating that we printed a bunch of stables and then immediately pumped?
Yeah,
it happens every time. I mean, why do you care if there's a manipulation? If you know there's a manipulation, play the manipulation.
Stables.
This is Tommy's quote. This is Tommy's quote. It's not a bug. It's a feature. If you know it's manipulated, use it to your advantage. right?
Exactly.
You don't make any money by
Tuesday.
pointing it out.
Look, at the end of the day, you've got total with higher lows, right? 100% higher lows.
I know
at
this is
point.
this is what I was about to say too. Like, you're kind of diverging here, right? Like, you have lower lows in market cap for stables and higher like that's
called pressure. That's what that's called.
I'm saying that's like overextension and perp traders getting wild, you know. Like we need
when you get bullish divergence, that's bullish, man. You would need to get a bearish divergence for it to be bearish.
Yep.
Yeah, but I don't know if that's bullish.
But I don't know. I still don't.
If
I
this
still
is
don't know.
leading, you know. Go ahead.
I still don't know if like, I'm not saying it's not relevant, but it is the market cap overall. But like, is it the #1 feature driving the markets? You know,
No,
the USDT
I wouldn't
market
say
cap.
that. But
There are so many people buying the stable coins just because they want to have access to the dollars. They just don't really care about crypto at all.
You could say it's similar to Dixie in that while this has been bleeding, we've been holding, and that's bullish, right? That is something you could say.
That's kind of a divergence in and of itself.
Yeah.
You would think if there was a very tight positive correlation, then they would be moving in tandem, but you've seen the market cap of the three largest stable coins dropping, and price has been moving up this entire year. Not crazy, but it's been holding. So that could mean that price is just waiting for a small new influx of stable coins or liquidity to really get on its horse. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the question
I also want to just propose something. I mean, what is the possibility that this is not actually a support level that we're forming, right? I mean, we formed a reaction at this level and a consolidation, but that doesn't guarantee that, you know, that we can just kind of sit here forever, you know, without, like you guys were saying, some sort of liquidity catalyst to drive flows into crypto.
You know what a liquidity catalyst would be that wouldn't reflect here? Bitcoin spot ETF. Because that's not going to use stablecoin rails.
Let's talk about the spot ETF, because I wanted to, you know, I have the opinion that we can't approve a spot ETF until CZ is out of the market. It just doesn't make, I don't think it makes sense given the people who are expected to be leading the future of the market, for them to allow CZ to remain such a large influence over so many Bitcoin. You know, altcoins are another story, but CZ does hold a considerable influence over the Bitcoin market, the Bitcoin spot market. Do we think it's possible to have a spot ETF approved while he is still a significant player in the market? Because I'm of the opinion that we cannot.
To me, that sounds like a personal bias versus, like, you know,
I completely disagree with you.
I couldn't disagree more.
I could not disagree with you more.
Let me explain to you.
They're accusing him of terrorism. Are you going to brush that off?
They're not accusing him of terrorism. They're not accusing him. No,
we'll just dodge the question and took a personal shot.
Look.
I'm gonna steal the mic from Will and let him think about a real answer. Okay, I don't know what that little thing was, Will. Okay, Tommy can't have a personal thing against CZ. They don't know each other, man. I
feel like everybody this year is like CZ. It's like, what do you?
All right, listen, no. Okay, Magoo made a really good point on our spaces. They only care that CZ. Okay, so yes, he's been accused of some terrible things. The federal government, the United States of America, does not appreciate that the industry titan is not based here domestically in the U.S.
There you go.
They don't need CZ gone. They need somebody in the U.S. to be bigger and more influential in the space than CZ. CZ is probably always going to be around. Okay.
How do you?
Exactly.
I mean, I think I kind of think it's either all or nothing with CZ and Binance. Maybe
No.
not Binance. Maybe
No.
not Binance, but with CZ, I do think it's probably all or nothing at this point, given like the length of things that he is being potentially.
Okay, but hang on, Tommy. Let me jump in here. Yes, so the money laundering and like what else was it? Like financing money for terrorism and stuff like that. I don't know
I mean,
specifically.
it's a whole laundry.
Okay, but the
things,
big banks have done that for decades, and they've paid billions of dollars of fines for
and
it.
I would agree with that.
Yeah,
I would agree with that, but that doesn't mean that we're going to be fair towards an entity that's based in China, especially given the relations that, like you said, I mean, the future of the space is probably going to be, or at the very least, the American government would like it to be American companies.
Yeah.
Given how much influence that CZ still has over the market, how can those two things be simultaneously true? Right. Like I just think that CZ is too deeply ingrained into the market at this point to be reduced. I think it's all or nothing.
Well, just think about the U.S. Like, think about the U.S. government. Like, would they rather build up a competitor like EDX or whatever the hell their exchange was? Would they rather do that and compete with CZ, or would they just nuke him? Like, they would just nuke him. Like,
I'm going to give you guys kind of a realistic scenario when it comes to Binance. It's going to be the same thing they did with Russia. They're just trying to squeeze him, and that's basically force him out of the American markets, try and get him out of other markets by trying to use leverage against other countries to do so. Like, that's all it's going to be. It's not going to be as quick as people think it is. Like, CZ is going to be a slow fade, not a fast fade. He's not going to just disappear. Like, and that's the point that I'm trying to get to. This is why, like, I think like the CZ has to collapse before the bottom is in scenario is not a case. It's just not.
I don't think CZ has to go under before the bottom is in, but I think I just find it hard to imagine that he's going to just disappear one day, or he's going to like never be involved in crypto.
That's what I'm saying.
I could see a scenario where they just kind of brush it under the rug and like we get some new Binance International CEO. And then CZ probably pays like an $8 billion fine or something like that. But I don't think it's going to be a situation where CZ's completely gone from crypto. Because I mean, look, a lot of this stuff is accusations, and maybe some of it sticks. But
yeah,
all they're trying to do is just lower his influence, and they've already pushed him out of the US, which is exactly what they want. They just don't want Binance in the US at all. And once they grab, the US market and have full control over the US market, then they just have to bring the adoption there, and that's it. That's how you lower the Binance influence over time, And then you're going to use your alliance countries to lower Binance influence in those countries too, and they're already doing it with Netherlands and so on, for example, in Europe.
And I agree.
That was exactly my point.
I think that's exactly what they're doing. Well, I think you're totally right to say that they're bleeding out Binance. I think where I'm kind of diverging is that I think if prices were to be, if we were to approve a spot ETF and encourage price appreciation, that would stand to materially benefit both CZ and Binance, which still have a significant share. I mean, they're completely dominating the spot market right now. So if we
for now,
higher, Binance would benefit more than anyone else.
Yeah, but again, that's for now, Snorlax, right? Like I mean, at the end of the day, they can push price up as much as they want. There'll be a price point. Like, I guess people don't look at the market cap of crypto as a total. It's 1 trillion. They come in with 5-10 trillion, they can easily get it out of the market.
So it's like, if they want to be the big dog in the space, they do it through institutional rails. They approve a spot ETF. If the total crypto market cap's $1 trillion and they onboard 5 trillion through a domestic, US domestic spot ETF, well, there you go. They control the majority of the market, right? People that trade crypto through exchanges that we know about today, including Binance, they're going to be like, it's going to be like this weird dark space, man. Like, people will just own crypto through their spot ETF. No one will self custody. It's all going to be done through a spot ETF, through Fidelity or Schwab or TD.
If we had a spot ETF approved tomorrow, how much in inflows do you think we would get within the next few weeks? I'm asking this because the ETH futures ETF was very disappointing, I gotta say.
I would like to answer that first.
All right, go ahead.
$300. And the reason I say that is because I don't think that there's an immediate appetite. Just because there's a vehicle doesn't mean that people will immediately think it's the best time to buy Bitcoin. With that said, I think that if a spot Bitcoin ETF was approved at the right time, maybe sometime early next year, it would be timed out with BlackRock and all these major, United States institutions already ready to throw money at it as soon as it's approved. So I think if it was approved randomly tomorrow, probably not. But it's going to, I believe it's going to be timed out in a way that as soon as it's approved, it's going to be so obvious why it was approved there. And it's just going to go straight up.
Devs are working.
The way they are bleeding Binance influence is also by, I don't think that many are pointing to this, but they're attacking Binance and BNB so that CZ is forced to sell BTC that he holds to defend BNB, in my opinion. And this way they lower their acquisition of BTC and they accumulate slowly. And then, as Max was saying, one day it's going to turn around, just like we are already seeing with the Bitcoin environmental change. It was all about, like, the past year was all about BTCs damaging the environment. And suddenly, if you type in Google, is BTC good for the environment? Suddenly it's all good. It's changing. And it's going to be the same with ETF. They're just going to push it when it suits them. But they're not gonna they're not gonna take down CZ like buy, put him behind the jail. That's not what's gonna happen. They're just gonna lower his influence.
Yeah, I want to give you guys a scenario real quick, and I just want to kind of lay this out a little bit because I feel like we think too deep of right now versus later, right? At the end of the day, when you see all the things that are happening around crypto and around Bitcoin, you have to understand that these are basically guardrails being put in place. These are roads being built. These are bridges being kind of to connect cities, right? And a lot of people are just continually looking at, well, where's the liquidity? Where's the liquidity? Why would you build roads if you don't have intentions of people to drive on them, right? And I think that, like, when we went from dirt roads to actual roads, a lot of people didn't think, they're like, why would you add this hard substance on top of our dirt roads? Why would you do that? And then we built roads, right? And then we built freeways and we built highways, and these things weren't being used at first, but once they were built, they became the mainstay, the way to drive, right? And that's what we're seeing with cryptos. We're seeing an inflow into crypto from major institutions, bigger players, and they're setting up guardrails and they're setting up bridges to get into crypto. And for me, I'm more bullish than ever when it comes to crypto. When you look at these things as a whole. It doesn't have to be tomorrow, this year, next year. You just have to understand what's being done.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's always just best to look at the price chart, right? and that's where you're gonna see what's going on in the backgrounds that we don't know about, that we just speculate on. So we can make all these speculations. They can be right, they can be wrong. We will see in time. But at the end of the day, focus on the price, because the price is always telling the truth.
One thing, and that's a great point, but going back to something Tucker was showing earlier, we were talking about the USDC and USDT and DAI market cap. I think one thing that's really important to note here is what could make price go up in like the short term, even if that's just moving sideways or going down, and we're not actually seeing new stable coins coming into the market, is the relative dominance of those stable coins contrasted against the total crypto asset class. So for example, if you looked at USDT dominance or USDC dominance, or if you added USDT plus USDC plus DAI dominance, or even if you just took simply, it's basically USDT plus USDC plus DAI divided by the total crypto market cap. What you could see is just a rotation of people willing to deploy those stable coins into Bitcoin and ETH. And we don't necessarily need, we don't necessarily need new stable coins. We do for like a crazy bull market, I think, but there's people holding on to stable coins that could rotate that into spot holdings like Bitcoin and ETH and other altcoins And that rotation and deployment of stable coins already in existence would send the market higher.
And that's kind of what I'm saying with stablecoin going down and assets continuing to drive up, is that's what we're seeing. We're seeing stablecoins move into assets, right? And that's essentially what's happening, because price wouldn't be going up if that wasn't the case.
That's exactly it, Will. That's exactly it. Like that could, in theory, because how many? So of the total stablecoin market cap, what was it, like 100 and something billion? If you added together the big three, 100 to 120 billion. How many of those stable coins are just sitting there in a MetaMask, not deployed? You know, so what if you had 40 billion in stable coins that suddenly decided they wanted to be deployed into Bitcoin and ETH? You know, that would cause price to go up significantly, and we don't need any new stable coins. We just need them to be deployed. So I don't know if there's a way to actually determine like the level of deployment or how many billions are just sidelined. But just because there's 100 billion, Tucker, what's the total? What's the market cap of all those stable coins put together? Is it like 120 billion? $116 billion. So of the 116 billion in stable coins that are already here, how many billion is just sitting there not deployed? I don't know. Anyways, just a thought.
I wanted to go into too, because Zodiac here said, if you feel like BNB is fine, put your money where your mouth is. What have we talked about with BNB? With longing, shorting, buying, over and over again? All of us
here.
We don't touch BNB. None of us touch BNB. We know a Ponzi when we see it. We don't play with it, right? It's just you're on the wrong side of the trade 90% of the time when you're playing against somebody. It's you versus the world.
Yeah, I don't want to trade against CZ, man. I don't want to trade against CZ. Jack, do you have any charts that you wanted to show today? Did you have any?
Yeah.
Goal?
Yeah, I wanted to, but we had such a spicy discussion that I didn't want to jump in.
It was spicy.
It's good, you know, entertainment, good thoughts, some emotions, gotta be.
Yeah, I think I saw Will crying, man. There was definitely a lot of emotion in there.
Look, relax. I did not mean like personal, by the way. I keep on hearing people talk about that kind of stuff.
It's two guys that are just very passionate about the game, man. That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's what it is, as long as it's friendly.
It goes without saying, nothing is ever personal on this show. Nothing. It's just passion.
Yeah. And as long as we can agree to disagree, then all good too.
As long as I end up being right at the end, then it's okay.
You specifically.
I'm just kidding.
It's okay because I'm getting
okay. I'll prepare the chart.
Hang on. What was that, Tommy? I heard you say something.
It's okay because I'm getting the steak.
Did you see this comment earlier? You might not have been here, but look at this comment, Tommy.
Hey.
Nah.
I don't know who you are, Remy, but I appreciate you.
That's not happening, man.
Wait,
Tommy,
Tommy said $3 for Sol, hasn't he?
The bet's single digits, but I'm
not single digit.
So the bet is that by February 15th, basically Valentine's Day. All right, one day after Valentine's Day. Tommy thinks.
And the upside?
What's that?
And the upside?
There's no upside. It's just that I said that Sol won't go back to single digits, and Tommy said that it would. That's easy. And we bet a steak and a round trip first class flight to wherever we meet.
Oh my god! Tommy, you hate money.
Yeah,
I love steak though. I love steak.
It's such an unfair bet, though.
But, no, Tommy just doesn't like to eat his steak alone, so he's basically inviting Max.
The idea was more to like get a team thing going and have fun around it. Now it's
well, that's why I'm saying we need to do it. We need to do it in Kansas City. We need to do it. We need to make some bet in the next few weeks.
I already have my bet though. Someone else has to make a bet.
I know. What should I bet, Will? Man,
Me and Tommy started off as the fun team thing, like, oh, it'll be a good excuse. Sometime in the middle of winter, we'll all meet up, February, March, and Tommy will fly me in, of course, when I win and buy me the steak. But then Tommy doubled down on the bet, so now it's become a lot more than It's become a lot bigger than the team. It's
Has it become personal?
well, it's all fun. It's all fun, but it's
No,
I mean, I want to win. You know, the steak's gonna be delicious.
Will, what do you think's going to happen by the time Bitcoin Expedition comes around, man?
Tucker wants
Not
some
about
action
anything by
so bad,
Bitcoin
man. Give this man
Expedition.
some
What
action.
the heck?
What do you think? Where do you think Bitcoin's at? Where do you think Dixie's at?
In 3 weeks.
In the range we're in.
Give me an exact number.
Give me a second.
Over under. Okay, Bitcoin over under 29.
Oh, comfortably under.
Max.
Yeah, I think we'll be under.
What about 28, Will?
I think we'll be playing the mid range, probably like 27, 26.
So you think
I'm
under?
ready for the alpha, Max. Whenever
All
we
right.
are ready.
You guys think of a bet. We're gonna get you guys a bet, okay? Because I know that Tucker's hungry for some action right now.
I need some action, man.
He's hungry for Vegas. That's what he's hungry for.
What do the viewers think we should bet?
Yeah, let's bring it to the viewers.
Go to Salt Bay Steakhouse.
Should
Oh man, that'd be worse than having to pay for multiple first class.
Bro, Vegas has some expensive ass steakhouses. I'm just saying, man. Like very expensive out here.
for a bet
Expensive steak.
expiring on
But you can get some really good steak out here too, though.
October
Also
25th. All right, see if we get some answers. Jackus, the floor is yours, man. It's all you.
Let's do this because this one's fucking juicy. You know, this is just further confluence, confirming everything. So this chart is the one I wanted to talk about today. It shows the global central bankers' holdings as of percentage foreign reserves, right? And this is the gold, like percentage of gold of versus the foreign reserves. So as you can see, they've been acquiring in the 80s and then selling off the entire time. And the historical average of their holdings of gold of central banks is around 40%. As we can see, we are significantly below that number. We are around something like 16, 17% right now. And this number is rapidly changing in the past like 10 years or so. They are heavily accumulating. Some central bankers are accumulating the most in history. And that's the beauty of the things, because we don't even need to imagine that they're going to hold, something like 70, 75%. All we need is that this ratio goes back to the historical average, back to the 40%. And what do we have here? It's sort of like a sinusoid, you can think of this.
Real quick question about that chart. So it says 3.2 trillion of central bank purchases. Is that planned purchases, or is that an assumption that we would need to get back to the average?
That's the assumption what we would need to get back to the average. Okay. But we can assume. I'll get to that later. So first of all, let's check these charts, right, and the timings. So, because I think this is pretty interesting as how much it reflects the chart. So this is the logarithmic chart of gold. And in the 70s to 80s, obviously, we've seen the largest gold bull run. That was the big stagflation in US, which I think we are heading right into right now. And if you look at the chart of the gold purchases from central bankers, we see that it peaked right before the 80s, which is the same as this bull market. And since then, we've seen them unloading that gold right into around sort of like 2000s, 2005. And that's exactly when gold has been in this 20-year bear market. Okay. Then we see this small spike higher after the 2008, after the dot-com bubble and during 2008. And that's exactly when we've seen that smaller upside here, okay, during that bottoming phase of the holdings. And now this comes really spicy. So this little part down here, it exactly mirrors this one, this box that we have. You know, you can see the 3 spike here, you can see the bottoming formation right here, and the top in 2011, 2012. You know, you can see these two. So this has become increasingly similar, this, or we can say same. You know, so if basically what I'm saying is, if we are heading into this another period of stagflation, sorry, this period of stagflation in and I might overlay now with the Dow Jones, I think I was using for this one.
Evan
Yeah, I'm
Casey
not sure.
says we should bet a tattoo if one of us wins. So we go bear tattoo or bull tattoo, depending on which one.
No.
On the right
Yeah.
cheek, right, Evan Casey.
All right, let's keep going, Jackus.
Yeah, but basically this was the stagflation of the 80s, and I think if we are heading into the same area right now or same time of stagflation for the equities, then we can expect the bull market, and that's the same confirming with the holdings of the central bankers. You know, if we can agree on this whole thingy is completely the same as this one, and if we can expect this ratio to go back to the historical average of 40%, then that means that right from here, you know, we will be jumping way higher. Okay. So imagine what this little spike right here, and it started, you know, once again around 2005. Gold was already going up before then, but look at that, you know, that's what caused this move higher. Okay, this one. And now imagine if we're gonna get this much higher compared to this.
So you're talking about a 9,000 or 10.
Yeah, exactly. I'm talking about, but like, I don't know.
Max
Okay. Yeah, I think Max freezed. I thought it was me.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay.
So what were you saying, Max?
I was just asking. So it looks like the price target there. I don't know if you measured that intentionally or just you dropped it there, but 9,000 to 10,000 an ounce for gold. If we do revisit the historical average of 40%.
Yeah. Yeah, in my opinion, it does make sense. There are even some outcomes saying it's going to be higher, but you know, that's up to speculation. I'm simply, you know, putting in logarithmic chart and sort of trying to extrapolate these boxes so it's around the same, and that leaves around, you know, 10,000 price area, but it can be a bit smaller, a bit higher, you know, hard to say. There is also that comparison with oil. So if we can expect oil to go to like 150, 200, and then if we're going to compare these market caps of oil and gold, then that also gives around the 10,000 per gold. But why am I talking about this is, you know, I think this move in the central bankers' holdings of gold is pretty much like super big probability. The central bankers have huge analytic teams, and they see the global economy. You know, they communicate with each other, and they are looking for like you know, 5, 10, 20-year periods of forecasting what's going to happen and preparing for that. And if they are all accumulating gold at rapid historical levels, then they surely are preparing for something. And if we can assume that this ratio is going to go back to 40%, that's just, you know, going to send gold, and that's going to send all the commodities higher. And once again, you know, I don't think I'm just like looking for confluences. I think it's obvious in the chart that this must happen. And then if it does, it's just going to send, you know, BTC. It must send BTC to like 500,000 by the end of this decade. I just cannot see a different scenario where gold goes to 10,000. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Maybe it's going to be like, exactly, like maybe it's going to be something like this, where we get a big cycle in one, then we get a smaller drop and continuation, and then maybe we get like a longer, let's say 5-10 year period of BTC not doing much, and maybe that's the time when equities start to go up again. I
So-
don't think the four-year cycle is going to continue.
To add to this, Jack, is too, like, if you were to take Bitcoin and we can put on logarithmic or any of that, just scroll it all tightly together, it looks exactly the same. Like if you were to pull up a Bitcoin, the BLX chart, and just scroll it tightly together on the monthly, it looks exactly the same. Just like that.
But we might not have even had like a real Bitcoin adoption cycle yet. You know,
Exactly.
like this could just be like 1965 to 70 for gold right here, and we haven't even blasted off yet. It's only $1 trillion asset class. I mean, where was gold at when it was $1 trillion market cap? It was probably like 20 an ounce or something. I don't even know. It was down there in your first red box, you know. That's where gold was $1 trillion. I don't know. I mean, I don't know exactly. But...
real quick, I have a news update, then I'm going to pass it right back.
Okay. Oh, Tommy.
Ooh,
you like this one?
Tommy.
What is that?
The co-founder of Polygon just stepped down.
Yeah, it's over for Matic, man. in typical Matic fashion, they pumped it before the announcement.
Yeah, dude, that's so funny. I was
imagine
wondering why it was
just
pumping.
migrating.
Oh, it's nuking. It's nuking.
If you just migrated to Polygon, your
I
project's
posted
done.
this morning in our Discord. I thought that the Matic Bitcoin pair had topped, and it looks like it has.
Hang on, let the people piling in short here get squeezed first.
Oh, they will.
And then we hammer it on the next bounce. Yeah.
What were you saying, Will?
No, I had a couple of projects, like I talked to them and stuff like that, and they were just asking me. This is people I talked to, some devs and stuff that own projects, and they were like, Polygon approached us, yada yada, and offered us this. I was like, don't go to Polygon. Like the chain's gonna get obliterated. I was like, and you could tell too, because Polygon is the most consistently going after projects. They're just trying to appear more and more relevant as time has gone on, while the other chains that are actually doing okay and doing well are not actually going after projects. They're just like, hey, we have this money available. If you want it, come apply for it. But Polygon's chasing other projects right now.
Guys, look at this one. Okay, so if we're gonna look at this pullback in from 74 till 76, it exactly lines up. Sort of, I don't have the exact dates here, but it seems like this peak of the holdings topped right around 74 or like around there. That's right, exactly around here. Okay. And then you get a pullback, and it seems like it bottoms around post 75, 75th, sorry. And that's exactly the bottom here. And then it goes up, and this move, so it went from the 50% ratio to around 3% ratio. And look what it cost back then. I mean, it was a lower market cap. Of course, gold had lower market cap back then.
What was the market cap right there, Jack? It's just, do you happen to know what was the gold market cap?
But we could,
I don't know if does TradingView have it. I would just be curious because I want to know. I want to just compare it to Bitcoin. I want to compare it to Bitcoin.
Yeah. I understand. I would love that too.
I'm gonna Google it,
but I don't know if it offers for crypto, but I don't see it on TradingView. But imagine now if it goes from 17% to 40%, right? That's more than double. And I can totally see this one happening. It doesn't seem that unrealistic to me. It seems actually very realistic, like the 10,000 mark. Obviously, around it, can be 8,000 to 12,000 something. But it would.
I gotta run, Gus. Good job, good talk.
Okay.
All right, see ya.
See ya, Will.
Well,
do you have? Okay. Yeah. Have you found it yet? By the way.
No, I haven't. I'm trying to find it. I don't know why it's not.
Yeah. Tyrell is saying Peter Schiff is getting hard right now.
He would. Yeah, he would.
But like, he is exactly the type of guy that like he is gonna be bullish on gold and bearish on Bitcoin, right?
So here's what we
He
can do.
doesn't
So
have.
the current market cap of gold, I can't find a chart, but it says the current market cap of gold is 12 trillion.
Yeah,
So
that's it.
that's correct. Okay, so then we can just manually figure it out pretty easily. So
I mean, if you can find the supply of gold during each period, then you can just multiply it by the price and you'll get the market cap.
yeah, I mean, are we assuming that the supply dramatically increased from the 70s until now, or when was like the majority of the supply already mined for gold?
Well, they keep increasing about 1 to 3% a year. So like, so it's really hard to like find it from today's numbers. But if you can find the supply of gold in like, I don't know, 1780s, then that would make more sense. But yeah, I just like, give me something that tells me that gold is going down. I just don't see it. Like, give me an argument, logical argument that this is not happening. Given all the facts we talked about, I just don't see it. And if this happens, then it must happen for BTC. It's that simple, And now gold is at this strong support. And in my opinion, just everything's gonna line up. The 150 level for USD Japanese yen, DXY going down, and so on. So yeah.
I'm trying so hard to find this chart, Jackus, and I can't find it. I don't know why. Maybe nobody knows. Nobody knows what the market cap was. I'll find it eventually. I'm gonna go on a mission. I'm gonna find it. All right, yeah. So you think we're looking at USD JPY? Is that the top?
I mean, I told you guys that at 150 they will start defending the Japanese and the Japanese central bank, right? They will start selling the treasuries, and look at this spike at 150. I haven't looked up yet if they put some statement or anything out there, but it happened right at the 150 level. And as I was saying, it nicely collides with the technical analysis as well, where it's at this higher time frame range, and it went there during the DXY top, and then it dropped. Now it went up again, and once again they're gonna defend. It's right at the double retest of this range high, right at the 50% of the wick, right above all these weekly highs. It swept those, and it just makes sense from the technical and also the fundamental perspective. So if we are truly reverting here, then that's bearish for DXY.
Yeah. I know. How would this affect US yields, Jackus? Because it looks like as DXY has been moving up and USD JPY has been moving up, US yields have been moving straight up as well. More so the long end, but yes, I mean the short end as well.
Seems like it should probably be going down as well, because
Yeah,
would make sense.
Can you pull up the 10-year yield instead of the 2-year?
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, they've all kind of been going parabolic together. You see.
Exactly.
So I think if the USD JPY pair has peaked, then our long end yields probably should come down as well.
By the way, for the viewers that don't know, Japan is the largest holder of US government bonds. and they said that they will defend the Japanese yen by selling U.S. treasuries and start purchasing, and defending the peg. Basically, that's what they said. So it makes sense that these two move together.
So so if they're going to sell U.S. treasuries to defend that 150 level right there, wouldn't that mean that there's going to be even more sell pressure on U.S. bonds and treasuries?
Yeah, and who do you think is going to step up? Jay Powell.
Our government now is going to defend the treasuries. Yeah. So now we have so we've got Japan selling U.S. debt, and the U.S. government and big banks now potentially coming in to buy it and support it. Maybe.
Could be, yeah.
I don't know.
Could be.
I'll trade the charts. I don't know.
Exactly. But I mean, it does make sense, because if we're going to see the USD Japanese yen going down, I mean, if they are selling just trying, I'm already seeing it in the charts, but I'm trying to say, understand it more from the fundamental perspective. So if they are selling the US treasuries, they are receiving dollars in return, right? Which means there are more dollars in circulation suddenly, which puts a downward pressure for the dollar index. And if what they do is that they start buying the Japanese yen with the dollars they just got from the index, from the US treasuries, then that puts a downward pressure for the USD Japanese yen and an upward pressure, downward pressure for the dollar, for the dollar valuation, because you are now buying from the market the Japanese yen, basically burning it, and you are offloading dollars onto the market. Like, you are exchanging dollars that just went into the market by selling the US treasuries, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
So I think this should line up together, and I think that we're gonna see and I mean, look at this big drop. This is the first time they said we are defending the yen, and it caused this huge drop, right? And if we put the DXY on, that's exactly the time when we see in the top and that heavy selling.
So, question for you, Jackus: what happens if we break that 150 level?
Then all hell let loose.
Credit event, as Michael Guyad says.
Probably.
I don't even know what happens.
If we do see this spike higher, I mean, that's just major problems for all world economies. And I'm not sure even the US wants that, because who would be buying, I don't know. I think they will somehow come to an agreement somehow behind the scenes and make it work somehow.
Yeah.
But if it happens, if it happens, it's definitely an upward pressure for the dollar. I cannot disagree with that. But the question is, what is the if? Why would it happen? Okay.
I don't know.
We still have to understand that Japan holds. Okay, let me find quickly the U.S. Treasuries holdings by country, right? And okay. This is from 2022. I'll try to find 2023. I mean, it's probably not going to change that much. Okay, you have it. So putting it over the chart, and we can see that Japan is just holding so much compared to all the others.
Yeah, wow.
So they're probably not gonna sell it all, but they do have enough power to defend,
Yeah, they can definitely defend. And then I'm just curious, right? So I mean, right as we're seeing this rejection here, yeah. So right as we're seeing the rejection at 150 for USDJPY, we're seeing a small bounce for TLT, which is kind of the opposite of what I would have expected, right? If they're selling,
No, you are expecting no. You are expecting TLT to go up if USD Japanese yen goes down, because as we explained, if USD Japanese yen goes down, DXY goes down, and yields go down, right?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, let me put it like this. So we're gonna put DXY up, then we're gonna put US 10-year Treasury up. No, let me change the color. Like orange could do. We can see the 10-year actually following pretty well here. And if we gonna look at TLT, okay, maybe let's do it like this. We're gonna put in TLT and we're gonna invert it, right? And let's make it red. Okay, good. Let's make it really clean. Invert it, and
it's
there you
literally
have
all
it.
the same. It's one giant trade. Yeah.
Yeah. And once again, just like with all intermarket analysis, just like, but like you cannot say that if there is like 3 weeks of divergence, like you even seen the divergence between the USD Japanese yen and the dollar, right? Dollar kept going down for a while, but then we see during this drop, that there was the major bounce from the DXY. This one is DXY. This one is DXY. And then it caught up on the USD Japanese yen and the yields being strong. But I think now, if these are going to revert, then that just simply means that DXY must go down, and it's just clean as that.
Wow. That's a really interesting. Yeah, that's a really interesting picture there. So as long as the USD JPY pair doesn't breach 150, we should see DXY start to cool off, and we should start to see some relief.
Yes.
In long duration treasury bonds in the US.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I thought is gonna happen with the DXY. I've been saying it. It just took a while for the USD Japanese yen to really get to 150, but it did. It did a very strong rejection, and then look at DXY today.
Starting to move down a little bit, I think. Yeah. You got to do the chart trick, Jackus. You gotta do the chart trick where you save the drawings so you don't have to go to a bunch of.
Yeah, I know. I need to learn it to use it more frequently, but we can see it pretty well. Where like if you look at this drop, right? Look at it. The bottom came in right when the DXY drop came in.
Yeah.
And then the top was exactly the same. See?
Yeah.
These two, very clear. And then look at it. The Japanese yen just fucking drops heavy, and DXY then follows. And then
we're seeing equities, and we're seeing US equities rallying a little bit today, or trying to recover. So
yeah, exactly. Let me put it. And look at it.
Oil.
Look at it.
Oh my
Look at that reaction. And dude, like I was saying, be bullish oil here, everyone. why would oil go up? Then it goes up and everyone, oh my God, oil is going to 100 and everything. And I'm saying, hey, we are at resistance. It's probably like after all this upside, it's very likely we make a pullback. Yeah, we could have gone a bit more up, surely. But and then there's the pullback. And then here, everyone's going to be saying like 0-0 and then bounce. And, once again,
wow,
everything repeating.
I remember you showing us that chart. It was like a few weeks ago, probably. That
it was right here,
okay,
right this week.
Yeah.
We were telling it live on the show. So, yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, it's lovely to see it playing out.
But yeah, U.S. equities are pulling back today nicely too. Or I'm sorry,
Yeah.
U.S. equities are moving up nicely today. At least they're trying to. I was looking at the NASDAQ, but SPY is holding as well.
Yeah. This was the only concerning thing that I thought that like we should be holding up here on the. But I think it was a fake out from SPX, because if we really look at how oversold we are,
it's like where we bottomed back in end of 2022.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So we have not been this oversold since October 2022. And in my opinion, this could be like, it doesn't have to be though, we will see, but I still think it makes sense to go higher. But like, we also need to be aware if we just reaccumulate here, then we could continue lower, surely. In the meantime, RSI would reset and we would continue lower. So we need to be aware of that. But if we add in the EM analysis, then intermarket analysis, then I think the DXY is gonna reverse, USD Japanese yen is gonna reverse, bonds are gonna reverse, and we will see that upside from SPX.
So we just gotta really keep an eye on USD JPY. That's the thing, man. As long as we don't break that 150 level, then exactly what you said is probably gonna play out. So
let's do this.
It's like USD JPY is basically BNB, but for TradFi.
So yeah, I mean, it's pretty major. Like the euro, dollar, and Japanese yen are the three major currencies in the world with which they move the markets. It's always been that way.
Yeah.
So definitely worth watching these and their policies.
Beautiful. All right, well, we've been going for almost an hour and a half, so just so we don't spill all the alpha today, we still have 2 more shows this week. Tommy, I think it's time to take us out, man.
Yeah, I can take us out. Thanks for kicking off the show for me, Max. Appreciate everybody who has stuck around, and hopefully you guys enjoyed the debate, the discussion, and everything in between. I feel as though these markets are getting to a point where sentiment almost needs volatility, right? It's craving it. We're building up towards a meaningful event, whether that be to the upside or the downside. But I appreciate you guys, of course, as always. And a reminder, if you really enjoyed the content today, we do have links to some of our premium content, the link tree of our Twitter bio, as well as the description of this YouTube video. But I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your Wednesday, and we will be back tomorrow. Thanks again.